Hey guys, Mustang here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we definitely got some unexpected news in the update this morning on Global. We are going to be getting the LR Vegeta and Trunks, which, I mean, that part should be no surprise to anybody. However, we are going to be getting them much earlier than we had originally anticipated. So we were looking at the schedule in some other videos. Both of the releases for December in the previous year came on the 4th, and the year before. I say both, previous year and the year before, dropped on the 4th of December. So that's when we would be anticipating these guys to have come to Global. However, this has appeared in the news as of today. And if we go down here and scroll over to page 2, obviously sometimes there can be a day or two out, but going down the list of news, we got the announcement that a new Dokkan event was coming for the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s on the 19th of November, and then all the stuff came out on the 22nd. This is at least going by, like, my time, right? So that is, what, 3 days later? So if that has come out today on the morning of Thursday, that would imply that this banner and this celebration is going to start on Saturday evening if you're in the US, or Sunday morning for me. Now, I could see that getting pushed back by one extra day, so it's Monday. That is like a usual slot a lot of the time for stuff to release, so I definitely could see that being the case. But that means that it is coming essentially a full week earlier than we originally expected. So obviously the Dragon Ball Heroes celebration essentially lasts for like 2 weeks, but the fact that these guys are coming out, I mean, literally, if they come out on the Monday, or even if they push it back to the Monday morning for me, the hero stuff came out on the Tuesday morning, so literally less than a full week later, we are potentially going to see this update come into the game. And as you can see from the other stuff that we got in the news with the King Vegeta Super Strike revamp, new stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history, and a new boss rush, if we take a look at the Tanabata Festival celebration when it came out on JP, as you can see, we obviously get the Dokkan Festival with the Dokkan event for Vegeta and Trunks. And then they also got the... I'm going to have to keep scrolling down now. Where is it? Did I go past it? No. Okay. The King Vegeta Super Strike revamp is in here somewhere. I literally saw it earlier. There's the new stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history. There it is. So yeah, all this stuff that was part of the Tanabata celebration on JP is the stuff that got teased in the news for Global this morning, coming soon. So that means this celebration is going to be starting very, very soon, and all of this comes from, I mean, the King Vegeta, they could have moved the Super Strike revamp to anywhere they want, but obviously this all comes from the new Dokkan event coming out. So epic battle to restore peace to the future. Challenge the Saiyan father and son duo who are bursting with pride and hope. I think it's cool that this unit got a Dokkan Fest LR. I know a lot of people when it first came out didn't think it was like a really good choice. But even though this moment in the anime wasn't exactly like super impactful, right? Like, it's not like the father-son Gallic gun. Like, Zamasu pretty much just shrugged it off, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's still a very cool moment. And obviously the unit themselves still are very, very good. Now, as often happens with Global, and is one of the many reasons why I wish the versions would just sync up, is the fact that when this unit came out, it was basically considered like hands down the best unit in the game. And of course, now that the unit is coming out on Global, there are definitely arguments to be made that there are other units that rival, or even some people would argue are better. Whereas when they came out on JP, like, the next best unit was probably like a clear number 2. Whereas now, even if you think they're still the best, there are units that are at least getting close or rivaling them. So this unit still is very good. Bond of Parent and Child or Future Saga 170, and then Battle of Fate as the extra 30. So they're 200% team. There are some very good options on there, but obviously just the fact that Bond of Parent and Child as one of the 170s is one of the best categories in the game. It includes most Gokus, most Vegetas, most Trunkses, most Gohans. Like, there's a lot of very, very good and very strong units on that category, so obviously it is a very good team. They raise attack and defense in 1 turn on their 12 key super, and then they infinitely stack attack and defense on their 18 key. So they're one of those LRs. Obviously, you want to go for the 18 key super as much as possible, and then if you do get an additional, you get the extra raise just for the 1 turn. Now, they have an entrance animation as long as you have a bond of parent and child ally attacking in the same turn. Obviously, the way you're going to build their team, it's very unlikely that you would ever not have this. So this is obviously a pretty straightforward condition to actually achieve. And then they get 2 key and attack and defense 140%. Launch an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super. Additional key +1 up to 5. Defense 15 up to 75. And chance to crit 7 up to 35 with each attack received. So there's a ton of different things that they do that they build up over time by getting hit. Which is obviously... Now, when their entrance animation, I forgot to say, but obviously you can see it here, but 2 key, defense 70, and guards all attacks for 5 turns is what their entrance animation essentially does, right? So if you don't have any other bond of parent and child units on the team, they don't get this permanent guard for 5 turns, the extra key and the extra defense. Now that is only for 5 turns, because when we get down to this last part of their passive, they get additional 70% attack and defense and guard as the first attacker in the turn. So regardless of whether you got their entrance animation or not, this guard lasts for 5 turns. As long as they're in slot 1, they will always have guard. So I think one of the reasons why this unit was so heavily valued when he first released is obviously the fact that this unit is very, very good as a slot 1 unit, which is what Dokkan, essentially, a lot of teams desperately needed, is these better slot 1 units. So him being a super, super good slot 1 unit obviously is very, very beneficial to the team in general. Now, obviously, they have good links. Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Dismal Future, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Obviously, because it's Trunks and Vegeta, they have those Vegeta family-esque links like Royal Lineage. Because they're Future Saga, they have Dismal Future. But even if you throw them onto any other teams, right? Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race. So very, very good link set. They also have an active skill that can be activated from the 3rd turn as long as all allies are Future Saga, or when HP is 50% or less starting from the 5th turn. And it massively raises attack temporarily, does ultimate damage to the enemy, all attacks become crits for that turn, and raises defense of the allies by 20% for 1 turn. So this is obviously a very powerful effect, right? Giving everybody else on the turn a defense buff, and because you use your active skills before the enemy starts firing off their attacks, then obviously it means all of the rest of the rotation is going to be better defensively. So you can see just on paper, like, this unit is very, very good. But the thing that's going to be a deciding factor for a lot of people on the global side here when this banner comes out, obviously the hero stuff has just come out. If you did decide to summon, then obviously you'll have used a bunch of stones summoning for them. But there's also the fact that not only is there going to be other interesting things coming in the future, this is the banner as it released on JP. Now, you probably don't need me to tell you that this banner is not very good. The Trunks and Vegeta obviously are the main prize. The AGL Goku Black, he was another one of these units recently that was super underrated by people when they saw his kit. And whilst he's not like super busted or anything like that, once we actually got to see him in game, he was definitely better than a lot of people thought originally. But he's definitely not like a super top tier unit. So I'll open up his page and we can have a quick look at him. But in terms of the rest of the banner, like the LR Gogeta definitely can still be useful for some stuff because of the scouter and the damage reduction, but some of the red zone stages and like Cell Max, I think what's the word I'm looking for? Tarnished his reputation, I guess, with a lot of people, because people thought bringing him into Cell Max for the scouter would be really good, but even post-transformed with his damage reduction, he takes a lot of damage from Cell Max. But in most red zone stages, he still is viable, which I think a lot of people kind of forget. And that scouter effect obviously is very powerful. But then we have like the Blue Boys, who I think they were overhated in their heyday, but have definitely now aged. Same with the Gohan and Goten. Then we have Goten and Trunks, who, I mean, a lot of people didn't even really like them on release, but they obviously are a unit that needs a bit of help. You know, I could imagine them with an Easy A being really, really good, but we're definitely not at that point yet. And then, of course, we have Tech Kale and Caulifla. They can still be useful for some things as well, but again, a lot of red zone stages have kind of aged them. And then STR Kefla, Blue Kaioken Goku, and Int Goku Black are all just old Dokkan Fests that desperately need an easy A for them to become usable again. So the banner is not very good, which is something you have to be aware of. And then this AGL Goku Black, if we go to his actual Dokkan Awakened details here. So he is a support unit for Future Saga. So obviously you can run him on the team. He's not on Bond of Parent and Child, so obviously he doesn't contribute towards the entrance animation, but he could be a support unit on that team. I feel like this guy could get a big boost in the future if we get a 200% lead that's like, say, a new Zamasu that brings the whole like Zamasu and Goku Black team build back to being somewhat relevant. Then I could see this guy being pretty good, but he's another one of these units that needs to get hit to build up his stats, but then he doesn't really have any defensive tech. So taking a bunch of hits in the early turns means that you're just going to take like a decent amount of damage, especially when it comes to the harder bosses. So the banner itself, definitely not very good, even though the unit is very good. Now, the other thing you do need to keep an eye out for is this Tanabata Dokkan Festival banner. Now, Global usually gets this midway through December. It still counts as part of the same celebration, but it comes midway through December and is advertised as like the Merry Christmas banner. This banner, as you can see, has a lot of featured units. A lot of them are very old Dokkan Fests that you definitely do not want to pull. However, it does have the return of the 7-year LRs. So for a lot of people, this is one of those good banners that if you've been saving your red coins, then obviously you're going to be able to cash those in on this banner and get a nice amount of LRs. Like if you're missing either of the anniversary LRs, this is the perfect opportunity to pick up one of those. I mean, I guess Gogeta as well, but he's on, on the banner. When it comes to summoning, this banner obviously is very dangerous to summon on, right? You don't want to get like, a guaranteed featured animation, like a Super Vegeta fusion, and then you pull physical Goku Black, for example. So this banner can be worth throwing a few multis at if you have the stones to spare. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be hugely worth the chance. JP did get the tons of thanks tickets. I'm trying to remember if Global did get those last year on this version of the banner, which obviously, free tickets, they're definitely worth using. But I don't think it's... the banner is definitely not anything to get excited about, neither this one or the other one. So that's one thing you have to bear in mind. The banners are not great. We don't know what else is going to come for the later part of December, and then people are still theorizing, or at least hoping, I guess, that we are going to get some kind of superhero representation, maybe for New Year's, maybe at the beginning of January, not too sure. So with a lot of stuff on the horizon, whilst this unit is still really, really good, both the banners that you can pull them on are not really banners that are worth summoning on. Like, this banner is very similar to, like, a yellow coin LR banner, right? Where it's like, you only really want the main unit. And even though the other units are Dokkan Fests, none of them are in a super great place right now in the meta. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Are you going to be summoning? I know there's a lot of people that have been really excited for this unit to come out. I obviously do really want to pull them, but I am a little bit concerned about how bad their banner is, but... you guys will have to let me know what you think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.